Hello and welcome back to the subsequent session of analog and digital electronics. In the previous class, we gave a brief introduction about the course, what are the course contents, what is the overview, what is the objective with which this course will be studied, and what is the outcome the student is going to attain once he finishes this course. So, with this brief introduction, we will start the majority share of your course, that is digital electronics. So, your digital electronics happens to have the major share in the analog and digital electronic course. 80% of your syllabus, that is module 2, 3, 4 and 5 have topics which have been which are associated with digital electronics, and the first module as topics is picked up from analog electronics. In today's class, before I just jump into the syllabus, let me try to revisit fundamentals of digital electronics. So, coming to digital electronics, unlike your analog electronics, which is the study of continuous waves. So, continuous waves are analog signals which is defined over at all intervals of time. Coming to digital electronics, they are discrete in nature, and we use digital electronics, they deal with binary number system. So, we need representation for 2 digits. So, binary digits 0 and 1. So, it is basically all about 0 and 1. 0 is representing a signal and 1 is representing a signal. So, we call them as digital signals. So, how to represent a 0, how to represent 1 is the next question. So, we use some signal to represent 0 and some other signal to represent 1. So, based on what signal we are using to represent a 0 and what is used to represent a 1, we have 2 types of logic system: positive level logic and negative level logic. Negative logic level. So, in positive logic level or positive level logic, so we represent 0 using a low voltage and I using a high voltage. So, convention, we use 0 volts up to some minimal voltage to represent a 0, and ideally it is not exactly 0 up to say around 2 or 1.3 volts we used to represent a logic 0, and 5 volts is used to represent a Y, and again there is some permissible range up to which we can accept a signal as a 1. So, if it is the other way, if you are using a high voltage to represent a 0 and a low voltage to represent a 1, we call it as negative logic level. But by convention, we usually follow positive logic level, wherein a 0 is represented by a low voltage and 1 is represented by a high voltage. Now, we will see other basic concepts which you have already studied in basic electronics before jumping into simplification of your Boolean expression using advanced techniques. So, we have we will try to recall few terms which we have already studied in our basic electronics. The very first term we take is a gate. So, gate happens to be the building block of your digital electronics. They are the building blocks of your digital electronics, and the very broad way of defining a gate is it has one or more inputs and a single output. So, gate is a building block which houses one or many inputs and has a single output. So, we have 3 basic gates on which we design our logic design circuits. Along with these basic gates, we have universal gates. We will try to study what basic gates are, what are the universal gates, why they are called as universal gates, and what are the other gates along with these gates, which forms the fundamental of your digital electronics. So, coming to the basic gates, So these are very basic. So we have a NOT gate, an AND gate and an OR gate. So these three gates are termed as basic gates. We will take each one of them. We will see what a NOT gate is, how it is represented, what is the truth table which represents a NOT gate, what functioning of your NOT gate. Similarly, what an AND and OR gates are, how they are symbolically represented, what is the simple two input which is an IC which represents two input AND gate, simple two input OR gate. All these things we will discuss in detail. And apart from this, we do have universal gates. So NAND and NOR, we will shortly discuss what NAND and NOR are in detail. So before that, why we give the name universal is because using these two gates we can realize all other basic gates. Not only basic gates, we can realize any given digital circuit. That is the reason we call these two gates as universal gates, NAND and NOR. What exactly a NAND gate is, what is a NOR gate, how they are symbolically represented, why we will try to justify why these gates are called as NAND and universal gates. All these things we will discuss before we jump into the exact syllabus of analog and digital electronics. So revisiting, we will start with NOT gate. So NOT, as the name indicates, it says no, So you say 1, it says 0, it gives you a 0. You give a 0, it gives you a 1. We call a NOT gate as an inverter as well. Why an inverter? Because the input is inverted at the output, so we call it as an inverter gate. And symbolically, a NOT gate is represented this way. Please note, this is a gate with single input and single output. So if I use literal A as the input and if I call Y as the output, so because it is an inverter, Y is going to be inversion of input and we represent it as A bar, indicating that the output is inversion of input. So this designation indicates A bar or A inverter. So the truth table, we will try to write the truth table for this. So what is a truth table? So truth table is a table, it is a table which gives output for all possible values of your input. So table which gives output for all possible values of input, we term them as a truth table. So if A is the input, A can take only two possible values because as I said, it is binary. So it is either at any instant a binary value is 0 or 1. A digital signal can take only two values, 0 and 1. So possible values of A include 0 and 1, and output Y, as I said, it is inversion, it says no, it says not to input. If it is 0, the output happens to be 1, it is a 0. And coming to the commercially available NOT gate, we have IC 7404. IC 7404 is an X NOT gate. So what is X? X is 6. So when I say X NOT gate, using 17404, I can realize 6 NOT gates. So with single 7404 IC, I can realize 6 NOT gates. And how do I write the integrated chip, pin diagram of an integrated chip, something like this. So this happens to be 7404, and this is your 7404 is a 14 pin dual inline package. So when I say 14 pin dual inline package, we have pin numbers 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and 7 along this line and other 7 pins along this line. So here we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Please note, whenever we have an IC, we need to supply it with power supply. So 7 is ground and 14 is VCC. And as I said, I can realize 6 NOT gates. So 1 is the input, 2 is the output. So this happens to be the first gate. Likewise, 3 is the input, 4 is the output. 5 happens to be the input and 6 happens to be the output. So these are the 3 gates. And coming to the other 6 gates, it is not 8, 8 is not input, 9 is not, 8 does not become input and 9 is not the output, it is the other way. So 8 is input and 9 is output. Please note, all the gates, they are facing downwards. So that is the reason for the first gate, 1 is input, 2 is output, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here it is ulta, 8 is the output, 9 is the output, input. So again, likewise, so that is the reason I called it as X NOT gate. The next basic gate we have is an AND gate. So AND is many inputs and one output. So on its a simple AND gate comprises of 2 inputs and 1 output. So let me call the 2 inputs as A and B, and symbolically the NAND gate is represented like this. So a NAND gate is symbolically represented this way, and AND gate is represented symbolically like this. And what is an AND gate? So AND gate, as the name indicates, the output is A and B. So the expression for output Y is A and B, or simply I can write it as AB. So when I say A and B, what I mean is the output Y is I when both A and B are I. So that is what we mean by AND gate. So where the output is I only when both the inputs A and B are I. So if you have 3 inputs, so A, B and C, so it is A and B and C, or simply A, B, C. So in this case, for the output to be I, A, B and C, all the 3 inputs should be I. So even if one of them is low, the output is going to be low. So for a 2 input AND gates, again I will write the truth table. So just to recall, truth table is a table which gives the output for all possible values of inputs. So I will write input here and output here. The inputs are A and B, output is Y, and I need to write all possible values of inputs. So it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So as discussed, the output is I only when both A and B are I. So 0, 0, the output is 0, 0, 1 is 0, 1, 0, it is a 0, 1, 1, it is a 1. So this is the output truth table for an 2 input AND gates. So likewise, if you have a 3 input AND gate, I will have to write one more literal C for the third input, and we will have to write 8 possible combinations. So 0, 0 represents 0, this represents 1, this represents 2 and this represents 3. So 2 power 2, there are 4 possible combinations, 0, M0, M1, M2 and M3. So if at all you have 3 inputs, this gets extended. So I will have to write it for C, and since there are 3 inputs, 2 power 3, we will have 8 possible combinations, 0, 0, 0 representing 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. This binary system you are already comfortable with. So the least significant bit as a weightage of 2 power 0, this has a weightage of 2 power 1 and this has a weightage of 2 power 2. So this is 2 power 0, this is 2 power 1 indicating 2, this indicates 1, 2 and this indicates 4. So 1, 0, 1, 1. Next we have a 0, 0, 1, 0, this is 3, 1, 0, 0, 4, 1, 0, 1, 4 plus 1, 5, 1, 1, 0, 4 plus 2 6, 1 1 1, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 2 7. So, these are all possible values of inputs, and the output goes all the way 0, and for all the inputs high, the output is going to be 1. So, this is for a 3 input AND gate. So, basically AND is another basic gate wherein the output is high only when both the inputs are high. So, next we have is OR gate. So, OR is symbolically represented this way. So, here we have a 2 input OR gate. So, we will call it A and B as the output and Y as the output, and the expression for Y output of an OR gate is represented as A or B, or simply A plus B. So, this is a simple 2 input OR gate, and if I try to write the truth table again is a table depicting the output for all possible values of input. So, A, B are the input and Y is the output. All possible values are 0 0, 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. And please note, why we give the name A OR is because either A or B is I, the output is going to be I. Even if one of the input is I, the output is Y. So, that is why we call it as A OR. So, A or B is I, the output is I. So, both are 0, the output remains 0. 0 1, one of them is I, output is I. 1 0, one of them is I, the output is I. And 1 1, both are I, the output is I. So, this is how we write the truth table for a OR gate. And coming to the IC, I just forgot to mention the IC for your AND gate. I will write both side by side. So, 7432 is a OR gate and this is quad OR gate. So, when I say quad OR gate, using 17432 I can realize 4 OR gates. So, it is again a 14 pin IC. This is a notch indicating the IC should face upwards like this, and this is 1. Again this is a 14 pin dual N line package, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. 14 is always VCC and 7 is ground, and because this is a 2 input OR gate, 1 2 are the input, 3 is the output, and 4 5 are the output, 6 are the inputs, and 6 is the input. And as I said, all gates they are facing downwards. So, 8 is the output, 9 10 are the input, and similarly 11 is the output, 12 13 is the output, and the IC number is 7432. Same thing holds good for your AND gate as well, but the IC number is 7408. So, pin configuration they remain the same. This is your 7408. So, these 3 are the basic gates, AND, OR and NOT. And coming to the universal gates, so the universal gates are NOR and NAND. So, in coming to NOR, it stands for not OR. So, the symbolically you are representing a NOR like this. Because it is a NOR, we put a notch here indicating it is a NOR gate. So, again if I consider the inputs as A and B and Y is the output, we write the expression for Y as A plus B whole bar or A NOR B. So, this is just going to invert your OR operation. So, if I again write the truth table, A, B are the inputs and Y is the output. All possible values are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So, what NOR does is, it says no to a NOR gate. So, whatever the output of OR is, it is going to be inverted. So, you are aware 0, 0 was a 0, now it is going to be 1 and rest of them they are going to be 0. So, this is the truth table for your NOR gate. And we call NOR as a universal gate When I say a NOR is a universal gate, what I mean is using NOR I can realize all other basic gates. Not only basic gates, we can realize any given digital circuit using a NOR gate. So that is the reason we call them as universal gates. So for example, I will try to realize all basic gates using a NOR gate here. So I say I want to realize not using OR, NOR. So I want to realize a NOT gate using NOR gate. So what is NOT gate? Y is A bar. So I want to use NOR gate to realize it. So because this is a 2 input NOR gate requires minimum 2 inputs, and but here I need to have a single input. What I do is I simply give the same input to both the inputs of your OR gate. It is going to be Y is going to be A bar. We will just try to justify this. What I do here is Y is output is what? A plus B whole bar. But here I end up getting what? A plus A whole bar. And what is A plus A? So from your basic loss of your Boolean algebra, A plus A is always A. So that is if 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 1 is always 1. So A plus A is A, and this ends up becoming an A bar. This is how I realize a NOT gate using NOR. Now I will try if I can do realize and using NOR. So here you have what is AND gate? Y is equal to AB, but I need to realize it using NOR gate. So what I do is I complement this equation twice. So complementing an expression twice complementing any expression twice does not make any difference. There is a very simple justification for this. Complementing a 0 once becomes 1, and complementing it again becomes a 0. So again if it is 1, complemented once becomes a 0, complementing it again becomes a 0. Complementing any expression twice does not alter the value. So what I do is when I take the complement twice and I try to apply De Morgan's theorem to expand this complement. So what is the De Morgan's theorem? De Morgan's theorem tell that complement of a product is complement of an AND is OR of individual complements. So what I do here is outer complement I keep it as it is, and I apply De Morgan's theorem to the inner complement, and this becomes A bar plus B bar. So now we will try to realize now it is possible for me to realize this using NOR gate. What? So how do I get A bar out of A? So this becomes A bar, B bar out of B. This is a B bar. Now what am I supposed to do? I just give it to one more NOR gate. So what is the output of NOR gate? This plus this whole bar. So it is A bar plus B bar whole bar. Is this not the same? So what have I realized? I have realized AND gate using NOR gate. So similarly, OR gate can also be realized using NOR gate. Very simple. What is the expression for OR? Y is equal to A plus B is OR. So what I do here is complement this expression twice, does not make any difference. Now I can easily realize it using NOR gate. So A, B, it becomes A plus B whole bar. Need to complement this again, give the same input to both the inputs of NOR gate. It is going to be A plus B whole bar whole bar. What is this? This is in reality it is going to be OR. So we can realize OR also using NOR. So that is the reason why we call it as NOR gate as universal gate. Now we will take up one more universal gate. NAND. So same explanation holds good for NAND as well. NAND stands for not AND. So it is inverse of your AND gate. So symbolically I represent a NAND gate like this. So AND gate as like this, and a NAND gate by a notch. Just put a notch to an AND gate, it becomes a NAND gate. So if A, B are the inputs, Y is going to be not of AND. So AND is AB, not of AND becomes AB whole bar. And coming to the truth table, AB are the inputs and Y is the output. All possible values of inputs are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. And you are aware AND is I only when both the inputs are I, rest of the cases it is 0, and NAND is ulta, so it is 1, 1, 1, 0. So this is the output of your NAND gate. So same discussion holds good for your NAND. You can use NAND to realize a NOT, AND, or why NAND, only basic gates. You can realize any given logic circuit using a NAND or a NOR gate. So that is the reason we call them as universal gates. So at this point we are aware what digital signals are. So digital signals are represented as zeros and ones. So we use suitable voltage to represent a 0 and 1. Accordingly, we have two logic levels, negative logic level, positive logic level. And we have also discussed what are the basic gates, and or and not are the basic gates, how to represent these gates, what are the expression for and or and not. We have also looked into universal gates, NAND and NOR. So why we term them as universal gate is because using universal gates we can realize any other logic circuit. Now at this point let me tell what a Boolean expression is. So Boolean expression is an expression which represents an output for a digital system. So say you have any digital system, the output of digital circuit can be represented as a Boolean expression, and we write it as you can give any you can use any literal to any variable to represent the output, and it is usually represented in terms of the input literals. So inputs are, we will call it as A, B, C, D. So what we have is the inputs. Here are, there are 4 inputs A, B, C, D. So the inputs, they are either in their complemented or uncomplemented form. So we call them as literals. So A is called a literal in its uncomplemented form, and B is another literal in its complemented form, C is in uncomplemented form, and so on. Say for example, this is an example of a Boolean expression. So this is representing a logic circuit, something like this, A, and if I take this is a circuit which is going to represent this is a simple logic circuit, and this is a Boolean expression which is representing this particular circuit. And our intention is to see to it that if I can simplify this expression so that it can be reduced, it can be realized using fewer gates. So if you can see here, B is common. So if I take B common, you just recall the fundamental theorems and rules you have used in your Boolean algebra to solve this. If I take B as common here, so I will end up getting A plus A bar, and you know from the identity theorem A plus A bar is a 1. So this is going to be a B. So this expression, this entire circuit is equivalent to B. I don't need A, it is independent of A. So our intention, this is only a simple example I took to demonstrate why simplification is required. So we have already discussed Boolean algebra in detail in your basic electronics. Now we will discuss advanced approaches used for simplifying a given expression. So in this module, you will be dealing with Karnaugh map method for simplification, Karnaugh map method, and we will go in detail with the Quine-McCluskey method, for solving a given Boolean expression. So before getting into what Karnaugh map is, I will just introduce you with a generalized approach for solving a given problem. So let me take in here an example of a simple problem and use a generic method for solving simplifying a given expression, and discuss the potential drawbacks of this particular system, and we will see how Karnaugh approach can produce a better result compared to this particular approach. So your expression, any Boolean expression, can be represented in two forms. One is sum of products, SOP form, and POS form. In SOP form, as the name indicates, it is sum of products, wherein you have a series of product terms which are summed together. So this is realized in two levels, that is using a series of AND gates followed by an OR gate, and this is represented as a product of sum, wherein your many sum terms are ANDed together. So this is represented again using two level logic circuits, wherein you have a series of OR gates whose output is fed into an AND gate. So we have two ways of representing a given Boolean expression. One is SOP and the other one is POS, sum of products and product of sum. So I will just take up a simple example here, wherein we will try to solve a given expression using a more generic approach before getting into why we need to actually go with Karnaugh map. So here I will take up a small example. MS. So I am not sure if you are aware of this representation. This representation is representing a given Boolean expression in min terms. So we are representing a given expression in using minimum term representation. If you are not aware, I want to convert this into expression which comprises of variables. Please note, here we have three variables or three literals A, B, C, and the expression is written in terms of min terms. If I just expand this is going to be M0 plus M1 plus M2 plus M5 plus M6 plus M7. So where M0, M1, M2, M5, M6, M7 are the product terms which are summed together. So this is the sum of product representation. Expression given in min terms is going to be the expression in sum of product form. So if I want to convert this into a Boolean expression, we will, if you are already comfortable, you can directly write seeing this min terms, or otherwise we will start with the truth table and see how to convert this expression of min terms into an expression containing literals. So we write a truth table. Just to recall what a truth table is. Truth table is a table which has output for all possible values of its inputs. So here the inputs are A, B, C, and the output is F. So because there are three variables, we have how many possible combinations? We have 2 power 3, 8 possible input combinations. We will write them as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. So, these are all the possible values of your inputs, and we will just make an entry into the output row wherein these min terms are present. If you can see, M0 is present, I will put an I, M1 is present, I, M2 is present, I will put an I, M3 is not there, we will put a 0, M4 is not there, put a 0, M5 is there, put an I, M6 is there, put an I, and 7. So, I can now at this point we can comfortably convert it into a Boolean expression containing literals. So, here f of a, b, c, I can write it as a bar, b bar, c bar plus a bar, b bar, c plus a bar, b, c bar plus a, b bar, c and a, b, c. If you are comfortable directly arriving from this to this, it is good, it is fine. In the due course, you will get used to how to write this expression directly from the given min terms. If you are not comfortable at this point, you can see you can write the truth table, from truth table you can just copy it, you can just write the expression. So, this is representing M0, M1, M2 and this is M5, M0, M1, 2, 5, 6 is missing. So, A, B, C bar and A, B, C. So, what we do is we will try to use a generic approach to solve this particular, simplify this particular expression, and then discuss what the potential drawback of this particular approach is, and straight away give an introduction to what Karnaugh map is. So, the generic approach for solving this particular expression involves two steps. So, the first step is including an uniting theorem, and the second step is to use consensus theorem. So, we will be using uniting theorem as a first step and using consensus theorem as a second step. So, we will see what uniting theorem is and what consensus theorem is before actually applying it. So, the uniting theorem, so the first step is to apply uniting theorem repeatedly till further simplification is not possible, and the second step is to apply consensus theorem. So, uniting theorem, you already know, if you have an expression of this form, this gets reduced to x. We are taking x common, y bar plus y becomes 1. So, it is reduced to x. So, this is an uniting theorem which we go on applying on a given expression till further simplification is not possible, and look if consensus theorem can be applied. So, according to consensus theorem, say you have literals A, you have an expression something like this, AB and A bar C and BC. So, if you can see, literal A is appearing in its uncomplemented form in the first term and in complemented form in the second term, and we have a term which is formed by the product of the other two terms, that is BC. So, if you can see this, when you have an expression something like this, the term formed by the product of B and C, that is BC, is redundant and can be easily removed. This term happens to be redundant and can be easily removed. So, in your generalized approach, what we are trying to do is we use uniting theorem repeatedly on a given expression, and till we arrive at a point where further simplification is not possible, and we will look if we can apply consensus theorem to the result of the first step to further simplify the given expression. And the drawback of this approach I will state at this point. The drawback is you do not get a unique solution, and not all solutions are the minimal solution. So, our intention is to arrive at a solution which happens to be minimal. So, if I use different combinations and apply these two theorems, we arrive at different solutions. That does not actually matter unless the number of gates used to realize these expressions, simplified expression is same. But what happens is not all solutions are minimal solutions. We will just take up what are the different combinations used, what different possible combinations can be used, and what the result is going to be. So, here I am using one of the possibilities wherein I am trying to apply uniting theorem on these following pairs. So, if you can see here A bar B bar C and A bar B bar C, we have A bar B bar common and C bar gets eliminated, resulting in A bar B bar. And coming to this combination, we have B bar C common, A is eliminated. We will these two terms gets reduced to B bar C. And coming to this combination, we have B C bar common, so it reduces to B C bar. And the final term is A B C. Final is this A B C bar and C. C bar gets eliminated. We end up getting this. This is one possible solution. Now, I will try out with a different pair of combination, and please note here we have applied unifying theorem and there is no room for me to apply consensus theorem. So, this cannot be further reduced using the second step. Okay, I am trying out with a different pair of combination. If you can see here C is eliminated, we get A bar B bar, and here A is eliminated, we get B C bar, and here B is eliminated, we get AC. As a result, this particular order gives me an simplified expression, and it is not possible for me to further apply consensus theorem. So, we will stop at this point. So, if you can compare these two, this is ruled out because this is not a minimal solution. This happens to be a minimal solution. So, we will try out one more approach, one more combination, and see what result we tend to get. So, here what I have done, we have done is we are trying to consider all possible pairs instead of selecting the pairs which we did in earlier approach. So, I have tried combining all possible pairs and I get these terms. And see, as a result of unifying theorem, I have 6 terms here, and this can be further simplified using consensus theorem. This is as a result of unifying theorem, and this can be further reduced using consensus theorem, wherein this term will be eliminated, this term is being eliminated, and this is going to be eliminated. So, if you can see A bar B bar, A bar B bar has been eliminated, and this is a result of these two, combination of these two. So, here we have C bar, C in its complemented and uncomplemented form. As a result, A bar, the literal formed, the product term formed using A bar B bar is this one, this is being eliminated. And if you can look into this B C bar, we want A in its complemented and uncomplemented form. So, it is a result of C bar, A bar C and AB. As the combination of these two, consensus theorem applied to these two terms eliminates this. And coming to this, we have A in its complemented and uncomplemented form. You can consider AC and A bar C, these two eliminates this particular term. As a result, I will be left out with A bar C bar plus AC plus A. So, this happens to be the simplified form using this particular approach. So, what you have observed here is the different the final result depends on the order in which you are taking the terms. So, this happens to be the major drawback, that is all possible solution may not be a minimal solution. So, that is where we go with what is called as Karnaugh map. So, when you use Karnaugh map, all possible solution leads to a minimal solution as compared to this approach. So, that is where we need to go with more advanced approaches which includes map or graph technique, so which we will be studying in the subsequent sessions. So, with this we will end the session for today. So, in the next class we will take up Karnaugh map. We will see how Karnaugh map can be used to reduce a given expression into a much simplified expression and overcoming the potential drawback which could occur using this particular approach.